great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. Good morning. How is everyone?
What up?
Good morning. I feel like I'm just now recovered from the draft.
2 weeks later?
Yeah.
Or is it a week later? Was it last week?
It's just a week. It's just a week later.
I feel like finally fully recovered. Like, we're getting there. We're getting there. That was a lot.
So how was your week, Q?
It was good. It really kind of like flew by. You know, I had to catch up on the other work outside of the draft. So it was just a working week for me.
Yeah. It was, this week's busy. Baseball. Peyton had a few games.
Showed
but
up,
other than that,
He didn't have no more home runs this week?
no more home runs. It was close. So they put these kid 11U on like this little bitty field that they played on at like 7 or 8U. They played on that field Thursday. The other team had 2 home runs. Peyton it was like just left of the foul pole. It went over, but yeah. I was like, almost doesn't count, buddy. He's like, it almost went over. I'm like, no, it didn't. We have a lot to talk about on today's show. Coming up, we will talk about the Negro Leagues. They had some announcements that happened earlier this week. They have something going on today that we'll dive into as well. And the Chiefs, they declined the 5th-year option of former LSU running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We'll talk about that. That wasn't really surprising.
Yeah, I know you're excited.
Not really. I like Clyde. We'll talk about the Suns owner and the Cavs owner. One says he doesn't like me and I don't like him. A little back and forth they have going on. And Deion Sanders, he says he's ashamed of the NFL after only one HBCU player selected in the draft. I really can't wait to dive into that. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W
Mahomes.
with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Now, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum announced its plan for a $25 million new home in Kansas City. This is big. Q, your thoughts on this one?
It is definitely big, and it's about due time. I feel like for really the last like 10 to 15 years, the museum just hasn't been, I don't know the word. It hasn't been grand enough. It hasn't been enough. Like it shares a space with the American Jazz Museum and the Blue Room. Like it's a lot of things in one. And it's not really its own entity. And I think now that we're pushing forward for it to have its own building. It kind of repurposes the YMCA over there. There's a lot that can be done with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. I think that can push it forward because it's like it's almost like a crown jewel in Kansas City, and it'll bring in a lot of tourism money, and especially to the 18th and Vine District. I just hope that after it's built, it can push a lot of business to the small businesses within the district.
Yeah, I agree. I'm for it. Even if it does, I know some people were upset that it may cost some public funding. Of course, they're trying to raise $25 million. They received a $1 million construction grant or donation from Major League Baseball and the Royals. I think they'll be putting in some more money, especially as their new stadium is going to be down in that area. So there's going to be a lot to do. And it just makes sense, though, too, because when people come to Kansas City, that's one of the things that they ask about is the Negro League Museum, especially because that's what they hear, especially during COVID. They hats off to Mr. Kendrick and company down there because they definitely pushed the museum forward during COVID with the Tip Your Cap campaign. They had a lot of Thanks a Million. I believe it's $1 million campaign is also where they're raising $1 from everyone to get $1 million for Buck O'Neil. So tip your hat to them, really, because they've been pushing the museum forward. And now it's time for a change, though, because the museum's been down there since as long as I can remember. And so there needs some refreshingness to it because a lot of Kansas Cityans have been to it, but there's still a lot of people that have not. And then you get some transplant people that, are coming into the city and they haven't been. So I think it's going to be a good deal for people to be able to go down there and see what the Negro Leagues was about, Black baseball, what that was about, and learn some history about Buck O'Neil, Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, all those guys Cool Papa Bell. Yeah, all those guys that they just started getting recognition. I would say 2020 through COVID, but they need to get more. And I think this would help push it a lot more forward.
Definitely. I feel like it was in due time with the Royals moving around, the current coming in. It was time for a revamp. So I think it was only right. And like you said, I feel like it wasn't giving what it's supposed to give, and now I feel like this is their time to really shine. And shout out to friend of the show too, Kiana Sinks. I know she's been working hard over there on that too. But yeah, it's a lot of moving parts. You can definitely see the progress. Even since I've been working with you guys and been around it more, you've definitely seen it come up, and I love that for them for sure.
Definitely.
And it will also host their second annual March of the Monarchs event today in just about an hour. It recreates the tradition of Monarchs opening day when a marching band would lead fans from the 18th and Vine to the ballpark at 22nd in Brooklyn. So
super dope. We did our show from there last year. Didn't know how weather was going to shake out this year. That's the only reason why we aren't there today. But I think they have about a little over 100 people signed up to march from. They're doing it in reverse, so they'll be at the 22nd and Brooklyn location and then marching back down Brooklyn over 18th Street to the Negro League. So that's always a fun. They have food trucks. They'll have games. Yeah, they have a lot of stuff to do down there. So if you're listening, head on over to 22nd and Brooklyn because you'll be able to be a part of the March of the Monarchs.
Heck yeah, get some glizzies and everything else. Like Q's
favorite.
The food
Glizzy
trucks.
wasted.
The food trucks are definitely a hit. Now, Kansas City Chiefs declined fifth-year option on former LSU running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You guys are 50-50 on this one. Steve, I want to start with you.
Yeah, I thought that minus his injuries, the team itself, just looking at it from a bigger picture, the team wanted to make this work because first round pick running backs normally don't get picked in the first round. They're second, mostly third, fourth round. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco came in the seventh round. And so even looking at Isaiah Pacheco, he's his replacement. So with him coming out, they're playing with house money right now with Pacheco because it's like, oh, Clyde didn't work out. All right, we got a young cat that can spin it, right? Like you want to win, put Booby in. So they definitely are looking at like, all right, do we want to pick up his option and have to pay Clyde because he's a first round pick? No, we can do better. And not only that, Clyde's a smaller guy, and no disrespect to him, but it is what it is. I think right now with the Chiefs offense, people expected Clyde to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield in a spread offense. But the Chiefs weren't really using him as such. They were using him as an every down back. And I've been saying this from day one. People can like it or not, but I don't think he's an every down running back. No. Just the wear and tear on his body as a smaller back. He reminds me more of a Darren Sproles that can come in if you need a short, a spark or something. But you can't use him as an every down back. And then for the last two seasons, he hasn't completed a whole season. So I think Clyde is understood, but now this year is his make or break year.
Yeah. And I I agree with them letting him go.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that because I don't know if Clyde reached the expectations that they wanted him to reach, which
As a first rounder, correct. Yeah.
which those expectations were slightly unfair. And we're looking at the same effect that it had on McCole. McCole came in basically as an emergency replacement for Tyreek, depending on whatever happened with his cases. And those end up working out. And I think Clyde was the same thing. Like he came in as a replacement for Kareem Hunt. And it just didn't work out. It's tougher because, and I don't know how they look side by side, but I would guess that Kareem's a little bigger guy, especially in weight.
Much bigger, yeah.
Weight and height?
Yeah, weight and height, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was the thing about Pacheco because he's bigger, stronger, and he's just as fast.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, go with someone who could take the pounding.
No, definitely. And pause. But
yeah.
Great show, guys. But no, he and I just think Clyde wasn't able to reach the expectations. I mean, again, like you said, even with injuries, with fumbling, because he didn't take care of the ball well, and especially in some crucial games. I remember talking about those games that during the red hour, just how down people were about Clyde. But I think it was that. I think he's not the every down back. He's a guy you could use as a spark, and he's not totally unserviceable. I think a team will pick him up.
Oh, of course.
He'll go somewhere and probably end up flourishing. Because I mean, you look at a lot of teams, especially in the AFC, could use him. I mean, just the two teams that are on the screen now, Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Those are definitely two very run heavy offenses that could use that depth somewhere. But do you think this opens the door for Kareem Hunt to come back? Because isn't he a free agent this year?
Yes, but I think he's washed. Like, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah. His return to Kansas City, I don't think it'll happen. Just because how he left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. Like, a lot of people had high hopes. Like, of course, Kareem. There were rumblings out there that Kareem wanted to come back. His dad. I'm friends with his dad on Facebook. His dad's like, yeah, we want to come back to Kate, but nah. No. And they have. I mean, you just re-signed Jerick McKinnon. You have Isaiah Pacheco. You picked up a running back in the draft. So
I grab in the draft.
Don't remember, but they so now they have 3, and they'll probably get another. Like the Chiefs they've won in the running back room this past, I say, since 2018. They've really, like, I mean, you look at Darrell Williams, you look at Darren Williams, you look at Pacheco. Yeah. I mean, they've really won with that running back position and guys that weren't really like stars, quote unquote.
And they had 2 guys that were really good as far as their experience, Le'Veon and Ronald Jones, that they didn't use.
Right.
Like they didn't
Just
utilize those guys at all. And I feel like the Chiefs are going to end up doing that. I feel like they're going to end up bringing in a veteran guy almost. And I mean, McKinnon sort of is that
veteran. He's been in the league. I think he's going on 8 or 9 or 10 years now.
But again, like, not your every down back.
Right.
I think McKinnon is a guy, again, where you can use him in a couple of specialty packages. He could definitely be that spark if Pacheco's not feeling it one day. But yeah, I mean, they definitely have their options open. Are you comfortable with where they're at in the receiving room?
No, I think, but the thing about their receiving room, it's a little different than it being like, okay, when you look at, I'm just throwing a team out there, Dallas, right? You have Dak Prescott, who needs that number one guy. Like, you know what you need, and there's pieces that you got to put in place. With the Chiefs, anybody can get it, if that makes sense. Like, Patrick doesn't really make a number one target. We all know what that target
mean,
it's Kelce. I mean, he's not listed as a receiver, but he's their number one receiver. But anybody else is like, I'm spreading the ball around. Whoever's day it is just whoever's day it is. Doesn't matter. We gonna roll. So right now, I'm not really concerned about it. But I think they need another piece. Is that DeAndre Hopkins? Maybe. I know he has friends on the Chiefs, and so I think maybe, but
I don't think he comes here.
I mean, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Where is he? Where else is he gonna go?
I mean, I don't know, but I don't think it's here. I mean, I know it's not Baltimore.
Yeah.
I know it's not Miami. Like, I don't know if it's an AFC team.
You want to win. You want to win. You want to win.
I mean,
you know where to go.
There's a couple places you can go to win.
I don't know. I mean, this team in Kansas City has been proven over the last few years.
And I'm not taking anything away from
and,
that.
And real quick, not only that, Patrick has helped guys' careers like a lot. I mean, you talk about Jerick McKinnon. Like, where was he at? I mean, he's helped guys.
No, the system's definitely helped some people along with Patrick. Because I mean, it's a proven formula that we've seen work over the past 5-6 years. I don't know. I don't see him coming here. I don't know if
is he too big for Kansas City?
No, I don't even think it's a too big thing. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it because yes, we've heard the rumblings of the Chiefs being one of the options that he's looking at. And then he puts out the video saying, like, who said I wanted to go anywhere type thing, like, trying to provide that smoke screen. But I don't know. I don't know if the Kansas City market is what DeAndre Hopkins and the type of person and player and businessman that he is. I don't know if the city and this economy is where he would want to be. And I say that because, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is one of those guys that has businesses outside, like off the field.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the type of businesses that he has flourishes here. Yes, in Phoenix, it could work. Warmer climate. Yes, in Houston, he's had restaurants and things that definitely worked, but I don't know. I don't know if I see him coming here. And if he did come here, it would be just to win a ring.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm like. I get what you're saying. I understand that, like, the business side of it, but like, he has all that in place. Like, he's been in the league so long to where he's like, to hell with all that. I just want to win a ring. Like, before I'm done. So I've been paid. I'm still on a deal where somebody else got to pay me. So it's like, shoot, I just need to win a ring. Like, all that stuff I can set to the side for just a moment, just for a season to see what could happen. Yeah, I mean,
it definitely could. We're seeing Odell. I mean, we've seen Odell do it for the last couple of years, and there were injury issues. I don't know.
And there's no bigger sports like business person than right now than other than LeBron and Mahomes. Like, you look at all like the
Mahomes
face. I'm talking
Mahomes
face
is still
of sports.
new in business. I'll say that. Because I don't.
I'm just talking like the face of league. Like, so
we'll see.
Guess we will see. Now, the next Capital One's the match will be NFL versus NBA. Speaking of Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce will take on Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Steve, I know you're hyped about this one.
I am excited. I am like for the inner golfer in me is just like, yes, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to see this. Like, but if I'm just looking at it from, like, who will win, I think it's Steph and Klay. Like, I know Mahomes and like, I've seen Travis play golf. I mean, he's good, but shooters shoot. Yeah. Like, people that can shoot the basketball can play golf. It is. Yeah. It translates right over into, I don't know what it is about it, but I think it's like the depth thing. But I think Steph and Klay will. Now, don't get me wrong, Patrick and Travis they can go, but like, I think this is.
You don't think Patrick's like targeting equates to like a hooper?
Oh yeah, but I think Steph and Klay play more golf than Patrick.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
they're in warmer climate. They can just, I'm going out to practice. I'm going to go play 9.
And in the offseason, I don't see Patrick golfing.
Yeah, they play a lot of golf.
They do?
Yeah, they play a lot of golf.
I would take him for more of a basketball guy, but
Really?
okay.
Yeah, no, they play a lot of golf. But he's in Texas too, so I mean he gets that warm climate. But I think Steph and Klay got it. I haven't seen Klay, but I'm just going purely off just Steph.
Who you taking?
I'm in the same boat. We've seen Steph.
Yeah, I've seen Steph play too. Yeah,
that's
And
like
that shot the other
code.
night that he hit.
Yeah, he's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that was sick. I'm gonna have to agree, honestly. U.S. Olympic track and field star Tori Bowie found dead in her home at 32. The Orange County Sheriff's Office found the runner dead in her home on May 2nd while performing a wellness check, and there are no further details on her death that have been released.
Yeah.
Interesting to me. Like for there not to be like any foul play. I've seen people talk about the mental health side of it. So I'm just wondering, like what was happening? Like for people not for people to think that people are always just well all the time. And I'm not speculating. I'm just just purely saying. But I hope everything mentally was okay.
Definitely.
Because this was really sudden for her to be as far as we know, for her to be really healthy. And prayers to her family.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And it's scary to think about. I mean, 32, like you said, an Olympian, like peak health, you would think. And so if it is the body, that's even more scary than I feel like with mental health. But either way, I hate to see it. I'm a big Lolo Jones fan. So I know that they were close, and she had put out a couple of statements about her expressing some of the things that she was going through here lately. So it'll be interesting to see the story, but yeah, I hate to see it. Definitely prayers to her family.
Definitely.
And like you said, I just can't even fathom somebody that's on top of the world like that, an Olympic athlete. It's like, yes, there's so much pressures that come with it too, but they are real human people that are going through real human things.
Yep.
So
I agree. I totally agree.
It'll definitely be interesting. So Suns owner Matt on Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert, he doesn't like me and I don't like him. Sounds like some beef is going on in the house. Q, your thoughts on this one?
I mean, it's funny because it's a competition sport, so you see it from ownership on down. It's funny because I don't think we get things like this from the NFL. I think they insulate a lot of their issues and whatever it is, but for whatever reason in the NBA, we see ownership a lot more vocal, a lot more in the media, all in the videos, but this is funny because this is one of those like feuds that you really didn't see coming.
Yeah. I mean, but it's billionaires going at billion. Like these is rich people problems. I was reading into the story, and you look a little bit beyond NBA. They both own like mortgage brokerage companies, and so competing brokerage companies. So it's like, nah, we not cool. We compete, and then we both have basketball teams, and so and then when Matt Ishbia, who is the Cavaliers, who is the Phoenix Suns owner, when he went to buy the team, the only vote that he did not get is the Cavs owner.
That'll do it.
Yep.
Here we go.
But for them to not even have like a rivalry on the court, it's screaming like petty beef. Like, what are we doing, guys? Like you said, rich people problems. I would like to see it actually come, like once they actually compete on the court and it's a rivalry, then I'll give like where the smoke is fire or whatever. I'll give it.
And I wonder like where they both went to. Like both their mortgage lending companies are in Michigan. So
really?
Yeah, they've had the beef for years. And so like I wonder where like they went to college at. Like, do they have that feud? Like, I'm going to start this mortgage company. No,
it's
and like, well, maybe they wanted to start it together, then one started the other and broke out. Like, I wonder where it went from there.
What's the tea, sis?
Yep.
What's the tea?
Yeah, exactly.
We need a celebrity death match between the two.
Deion Sanders has to be the NFL, says he's ashamed of the NFL after only one HBCU player selected in the draft. Steve, I know you're excited about this one. What are your thoughts?
Deion. Like if the HBCU and you wanted to get more HBCU players drafted, why did you leave the HBCU? It just, this is mind-boggling to me that he came out and actually said this when you left in HBCU to go to a PWI, right? Like you left Jackson State to go to Colorado. So by saying that, you would want your Colorado kids to get drafted, which means that's Power 5. That's Division I. That's, it's not an HBCU. So now it's like, oh, you're still trying to have your cake and eat it too, if that makes sense. Like you want these HBCU kids to get drafted, but you left. So now the eyes are going to be shifted from the Jackson State to Colorado. It just, I don't know. Come on, Deion. I would much rather him had not said anything.
Yeah.
But at least one got drafted. And I know we talked about this in the meeting, but look at last year. You had one that got drafted in Joshua Williams to the Chiefs. He goes on, starts in the Super Bowl and wins the Super Bowl as a corner. Yeah. So, it seemed like it's moving in the right direction as far as HBCU players getting into the league. But Deion, come on, man.
Yeah.
If this was that big of an issue, you shouldn't have left.
I definitely think the comment was very backhanded. Like you said, if you really cared about the situation and cared about the problem, you would have acted on the problem. Yeah. I mean, not that he didn't. He did what he could while he was there, but at this point, you can't go back on your actions. It's almost like backtracking in a way. Like you left, so you have to leave it alone. Yeah. In my eyes.
Yeah.
Q, your thoughts?
This is a conversation we should expect year in and year out with the NFL. Like, it's not a surprise. There's either going to be one or none. And I'm sure the NFL would rather none. But to Steve's point, with there being a player drafted on the Chiefs, being able to play in the Super Bowl, be on a Super Bowl winning team, part of that shows that the talent is there. And the NFL is always going to consciously look the other direction.
Yeah.
And we know why, and it's not really a surprise. So I hate it for the young men that go to these schools and try to put more not only into their communities while they're there, but also after they leave school, and the things that they do within the community of HBCUs. I hate it for them because that's another way that resources are intentionally held from people that are for Black people. And I hate it for those guys, because it could definitely be different if there was a willingness from, the other side, and it's just not.
Facts.
But Deion leaving too, what that does is it takes the student athlete, which the Black players, and it's like, I'm gonna look elsewhere than a Jackson State or HBCU. Jackson State wasn't good enough for Deion, so why should it be good enough for me? Why should I choose to go there? And I'm not talking about like the middle tier guy, the kid. I'm talking about these high tier that would be drafted kids.
Yeah, 5 stars or whatever.
Yeah, they're gonna go. They're gonna go to these other schools, even looking at Colorado. So I can't put the blame on Deion, but I mean, if the shoe fits.
Well, and we're talking about the same guy that said he was leaving and bringing them with him. Like, so you already had the intentions on transitioning them to a different organization, and it's the same concept as the NFL, bringing them to a different organization. And
can y'all guess who drafted the player?
Who's that?
Who drafted the HBCU player? Broderick's team.
Oh, the Patriots.
Yeah.
I know he was disappointed about other things in the draft, but that's a highlight.
Yeah.
Speaking of the draft class, the 2020 draft class sets records for fewest fifth-year options exercised. Some of the ones that were declined included Commanders Chase Young, Cardinals Isaiah Simmons, Jags CJ Henderson.
This scream, like we talked about Clyde. Clyde's another one, but this just screams teams don't want to pay these guys.
Yeah.
Isaiah Simmons, local product. But if you're going out there balling, they're going to pay you. I mean, look at Joe Burrow. He was in that draft class. His is getting exercise. He'll be paid next year. You look at Tua. He's getting paid. I mean, Justin Herbert. So all these guys, and I know all those are quarterbacks, but like,
Are you saying put up or shut up,
you
Steve?
just gotta put in the work, I guess. Just put in the work.
Q, your thoughts?
No, I mean you definitely do, because it as a player, you want to go for that next contract.
You do.
Like that second contract is like the holy grail, because I'm like Steve said, it's unfair to the players, especially in their first year. Well, not in their first year, but in their first contract, like they have a ceiling that they have to hit. Whereas that second contract, you can kind of prove your worth and move on to that next one. And I mean, shoot, some people just don't hit that, don't break past that glass ceiling. So,
And I understand it too. A lot of these guys are still like, they may be unhappy with their situation as far as like not the money that they're paid, because I mean, these first round picks, top 32, I mean, you're getting the $14-15 million in your first season, and a lot of it's incentives, so you're getting maybe 5 to 7. But that being said, it's like, all right, say I'm Isaiah Simmons, and I don't like the way that the Cardinals organization is ran. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm fine as my rookie year, but now it's like, all right, I get to test the market and get the big money. I get to hit free agency and see what I can get. Sometimes you get more in free agency than you would with your own team.
And then a lot of those guys, we know a lot of those guys talk.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the NBA. If I can pull this guy with me, I can. And I think we heard about a draft story this week. I forget which quarterback it was, but one of the quarterbacks drafted was like, hey, this is a guy I played with in college at Houston. And he's like, please draft him. Like, this is a guy that you could take on. So like, even in that, like, guys have friends at other teams and all that. So there's some slight recruiting there, slight tampering.
I mean, look at Chase Young. He was here hanging out with Kelce he was in KC the whole last week during the draft week.
Oh, that business too.
Business too, but like, he got to see Kansas City as defensive end. What's the Chiefs need? Defensive end. That make the transition. That I hung out with some guys because all the team was there at the Kelce Fat Jam over in Bonner. So I mean, he got to understand like, hey, I can hang out in KC. So you talk about that. I guess that would say that's legal tampering.
No, yeah. I mean, we know guys do it. Yeah. We know guys talk. We know guys like they try to recruit and everything, but I mean, they can skirt around it because it's not official team business and whatnot. But I don't know. You think the Chiefs will pull in Chase Young and Nook?
I mean, I don't. Of course, he's still on a contract, so like they can't do anything until the end of this season. But I mean, it's an option depending on how he does this year.
We'll see. I mean, if I'm Washington, I'm not letting that go.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see.
We shall see. A former Jayhawk is proving his worth.
Oh my goodness.
Philadelphia 76ers
who put this on here?
center Joel
Who put this
Embiid
on here?
named NBA's 2022-2023 MVP.
Yeah.
Steve, your thoughts?
I mean, this is deserving. It's very deserving. Giannis' injury opened up a lot for other players in the league.
Is that what it was?
I mean, he's the favorite. He's the favorite year in and year out. So I think Jokic is another favorite. But it's deserving. I mean, he's been balling. He's carried his team through the up. I mean, just look at the past. And I'm just not talking about this year, but the past few years. I mean, the whole Ben Simmons trial and error. He's carried them through that. He's carried them through.
I mean, Jimmy Butler
a lot.
Was there with.
He's carried them through a lot, man. So I'm it's deserving. It's very deserving.
Mm-hmm.
You.
No, yeah. I mean, I love it for him. To even be in that echelon of players that have won an MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it for him. And he's one of those guys, he makes it easy to root for him. Like, even when he's talking trash to other players, even when like he's a funny guy, like, yes, he's the MVP. Like, That's somebody you want as the face of your league. And not to say that Jokic isn't, like, we just don't see Jokic's personality like that.
Right.
We do sometimes.
We see his brothers more than him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jokic is a little more laid back, and he's going to do it more on the court. But like, Embiid is just one of those players, like it's personality on and off the court.
Yep.
He's just a fun guy. And then on top of that, I mean, he balls out of control. So
on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss an Oakland Athletics fan who might be onto something. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
Definitely.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
FPS Security is here to secure Greater KC protection where you need them most. Social events, birthday parties, corporate events, weddings, small businesses, and more. Call FPS Security at 816-379-3600 or visit fpssecuritykc.com. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Reliable, fast, and professional service.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want.
Real quick before we, I want to send a quick shout out to one of my good friends, Michael Lang, Airborne. He's graduating today, so man, he's getting it done. So man, shout out to him. He's at his graduation right now. So I'm like, how are you at your graduation watching the show?
Yeah,
like, the support, the love.
My dog.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Go get that GED, Mike.
I love it. Now, Athletics fan is urging people to pack the ballpark amid reports of the team leaving for Las Vegas. Steve, your thoughts on this one?
They're going to try to do, like, Oakland has had the worst, their teams that have left. Like, you get the Raiders leave. Now you're getting your baseball. Like, what's going to be left in Oakland?
Nothing.
You just.
Because they're trying to move everything to San Francisco.
Yeah, man. And now this team, they're not even moving to San Fran. They're moving completely.
Well, I'm saying in the area, they're trying to go on the other side of the bay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the worst, man. I just feel bad for the citizens of Oakland. Yeah. Like, having been able to go there a few times and hang out, Oakland's a pretty cool town. It kind of reminds me of KCK. Mm-hmm. Oakland does. Like, it's a small, setting, smaller downtown, but it's really dope. And so this is cool. I mean, because you could get your fans that could just boycott the team and not just show up for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. And just like, hey, we're in the brown paper bags. We're not going to show up, like, which I think folks are going to start doing out there at the Royal Stadium here if they're not careful.
Sheesh.
So yeah, I want to see how this turns out, because the fan has been doing a lot of, like, he's been doing a press tour. A lot of people have been picking this up, so I just want to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I hate it for the city of Oakland. I think I spoke on it when the Raiders talked about leaving.
Yeah.
The city of Oakland definitely deserves better. And their
Do they haven't won anything.
The city of, I mean, like you said, the citizens deserve better.
Yeah.
Like the city of Oakland deserves a lot better because a lot of their resources and everything are literally going across the bay to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hate it for the city. And maybe that opens up, a lane where I don't know if Major League Baseball is going to expand. Like, I don't know if they're going to send any expansion teams out there, because they're struggling with what they have right now, and not struggling. They just aren't. It isn't a popular sport.
It's stagnant.
But yeah, I hate it for the city of Oakland because I mean, even losing two of America's favorite sports, like that sucks. And on top of that, you have a really good team just across the bay in the NBA, and again, Oakland is an afterthought. I mean, yeah, they're Golden State, but everyone knows them for being in San Francisco, and it sucks, but it's business.
Now, Steph Curry could replace LeBron on Stephen A. Smith's NBA Mount Rushmore.
I love it.
Of course you do.
LeBron hate coming out once again.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
No, but in all honesty, like I always say this, y'all know I do. It's like records are meant to be broken.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always going to be that next guy. Like there was Jordan, then there was Kobe, then there was Iverson mixed in that.
Wait a minute, because Harold Miner came right after Jordan.
Stop. Anyway, there was Jordan, and then there was Kobe. Iverson was mixed into that mix. You had like a little bit of Tracy McGrady of like who's the next
Tim Duncan.
greatest Tim Duncan. Yeah, and Adam Garcia is on here, so I know he's gonna love it.
Yeah.
So but like you had, and then now you have LeBron. Like LeBron has been that soul for the past 3 or 4 years, but Steph, and then there was the KD mix in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still say KD's the greatest offensive player ever. Like I'll stick by that. But like Steph is making his way, and
he's making his way, definitely.
And Stephen A. Smith is. I mean, his thing was like, hey, if he wins 5 rings, if he wins another ring this season, that's 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if it's all about rings, he'll be right there with Bron, but then he'll overtake him.
I'm not giving him that.
Yeah, okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Bron is on the Mount Rushmore, and I think he's pretty much solidified that. I don't think just Steph winning a mere more rings. I mean, Steph has had better teams than LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron, and factoid, you don't let a guy with a lesser team come back from a 3-1 lead in the finals and then also take over him on the Mount Rushmore. Like that doesn't happen. So no.
Okay.
It's an automatic no, Stephen A.
All right.
Now, Ryan Tannehill, I don't love Nissan Stadium switching from grass to turf. Your thoughts on this one? And the grass versus turf argument.
I would definitely prefer grass. I mean, that's what I grew up playing on. And yeah, turf is definitely more sexy from the aesthetic. But we see what it's done to players' knees and ankles and different things. So for them to be going to turf, it's kind of confusing. Maybe.
Yeah.
But also I mean, their grounds team probably isn't that good in the climate that they're in. Because is Tennessee's field pretty bad?
It's not bad.
Okay.
I mean, it's not the worst in the league, but I mean, I don't understand it just from the simple fact of all the negative all the guys that just say negative things about playing on turf. I mean, the knee injuries,
all the guys, all the scientists, the research that has gone behind like how bad turf is. But I mean, what can you do? They're probably just trying to save some money.
Yeah. But the thing about it too is the fact that he better be careful with these statements because he got some young guys. I mean, and Malik Willis, and then they just drafted Will Levis. So he got some young guys that's ready. That's like, shoot, we'll play on whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and Ryan Tannehill hasn't done much lately. So I just like, hey, be cool with them statements, bro.
Yeah,
cool.
no, I mean, yeah, because even he said he's not gonna mentor Will Levis either. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy on his way out the door. I don't see Tannehill's career being much longer, two maybe 3 more years.
Yeah.
Because there's just a lot of young talent coming in, and for a guy like him that's kind of been like the average guy, like we can't really call him trash. We can't. And I wouldn't go that far as Tannehill because I mean he's done a fairly good job with what he's had in the league. He didn't come up as a quarterback like that. He just very athletic guy.
And then their game plan was more solely based on the running game.
I mean, yeah, because who your quarterback is too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they've had some pieces at receiver and stuff, but I mean, Tannehill's just not a guy that's just gonna blow the doors off of you with his arm and accuracy, and like Pat is consistent. Yeah. And it's tough to really put him next to Patrick Mahomes, who's won 2 Super Bowls and an MVP. Like it's tough to do that, but when you have a guy like that that's at the top of his game, and then you have a Ryan Tannehill that is, the team again is predicated on the run. Like you're not expecting him to put up 300 yards all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
But turf wise, Tennessee needs to stick with grass.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll dive into our Hate or Love It segment. Keep it locked in. This is Debbie Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
FPS Security is here to secure Greater KC protection where you need them most. Social events, birthday parties, corporate events, weddings, small businesses, and more. Call FPS Security at 816-379-3600 or visit fpssecuritykc.com. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Reliable, fast, and professional service.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off our sneakers of the week, we have the women's Air Jordan 2 Cool Grays.
I like these. These
Nah,
kind of like, I like the color. Like maybe if it's not the shoe, I just like how the colors go together.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear them, but I do like the color scheme.
Yeah, Broderick said it. I don't like twos, and I don't think I've seen the colorway I like yet.
Nike Kobe 4 Protro Mambacitas.
Dope. I love, even though I couldn't get them, I even tried to get the jersey. Like they came with the black jersey and the white jersey. Upsetting.
Plain Jane, I'll still pass.
My favorites this week: Nike SB Dunk Low Pro ISO Wolf Grays.
Yeah,
He's
color's
cool.
nice.
He's cool.
Last but not least, Air Jordan 1 High OG White Cements.
Yeah.
Pass.
These are all right. I like the elephant print, but like, yeah.
You don't like them, Steve?
No, not really.
I'll pass on those. Yeah. Nike sneakers receives nearly $12 billion bought entries a month. Hate it or love it?
I hate it because that limits my sneakers I'm able to get. I mean, and I even looked into buying about. I know they're saying too much, maybe, but I looked into getting one, like just for laughs. But I haven't.
How
I
do
didn't
you
pull the
invest
trigger.
in a bot? Like, how does that process come about?
You got to know people, Jasmine.
So your people can talk to my people.
Yeah, got to know people.
Okay, man.
I mean, it's worth the investment. Like people have purchased bots for resale. Like that's all they do. They get the bots, get maybe 4, 5, 10 pair of shoes, and just for the resale aspect of it. But I just want the bot just to be able to get me some shoes.
Steve, you in business with Russian hackers?
Man, maybe.
So you're gonna go to Germany, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah, we need to keep an eye on you.
Maybe.
Going to the game.
He's taking out the son in his free time.
Yeah,
he's one of the ops, low key.
Yeah, we don't know what Steve has.
And I see Adam Garcia said, I need to switch over to Adidas. Actually, since you said that, I didn't even bring it up, but I am wearing Adidas today. If you're listening on 100.1 FM, you can tune in on the W Show on social media. But look, I have on Adidas and I have the shorts, and I might just have on some Patrick Mahomes twos.
Here he goes.
Like,
hey, Roger,
the PM twos, y'all haters.
Did you see that Twitter thread? What's the craziest D riding you've ever seen?
Man, there are some haters in this room, I tell you.
Yeah,
Hate it.
Take those trash cans off.
Patrick Beverly says he and Russell Westbrook want rings if Lakers win NBA title. Let's hear from Pat Bev.
So I'm working out today, right? I'm in there, I'm grinding, I'm doing today's back day. I'm working out, I'm doing back, arm, hitting it. Russell Westbrook walks in. Hey, Russie. Russie, I told Russie, yeah, I beat you to the gym today. Yeah, I beat you to the gym today, Russie. You're the reason why I'm in here. You posted me up first play, you got an and one. Didn't forget. Russie goes, hey, Pat, Lakers win, I want my ring.
Right?
I ain't gonna lie, Russ. Boy, we gonna be suited and booted, boy. I'm gonna be right there waiting on that ring.
At the White House.
Okay, I'm going. Who's him? Early. Yeah. Man,
Mr. Biden.
Stations, not the new ones.
Yeah, bro. You gotta get that.
If they win, you call me, whatever, call me wrong. I'm gonna get that ring.
Call him champ.
I mean, you don't have to call me that, but I'm gonna get that ring.
Y'all thoughts on that? Like, I mean, look, he played for most of the season.
Yeah.
Y'all think he deserves a ring?
I'd say yeah.
Okay.
If that was me, I'd want it.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'd want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you participated that much, yeah, like you contributed in some fashion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. I guess I want my ring too, even if I'm gonna sell it. Even if I'm
Back to the bots and resale value
even
and
if I'm
everything else.
sell it, like I guess. I mean, yeah, cool.
Steve always has an alternative motive.
Look, telling you.
Kevin Durant to become a playable character in Call of Duty. Hate it or love it.
I like
This
that.
is cool.
Yeah.
This is cool. For the simple fact that like you're starting to see these video game companies. I know they've done it before, but like they're starting to really lean in on these athletes, and helping them with. I mean, because you get a lot of athletes that are into the gaming, they're into the culture of gaming, and so them really leaning into it is really dope. So yeah, I mean, you think about. I think Mahomes did They had a skin on Fortnite for Mahomes earlier last season. I don't know if any other guys have been on there, but this is dope for him to be on Call of Duty. I've never seen Call of Duty do a different skin like of a celebrity or athlete.
Oh, they haven't before?
I haven't seen any.
Do you have to pay extra to use the new, different skins, or how does that work?
You do. You got to get like a V-Bucks basically, and then you get your V-Bucks depending on if you're on PlayStation or Xbox. But yeah.
So we need to get Steve LeBron James skin for whatever.
I mean, we
plays.
should.
Yeah, I think he should.
Nope, not gonna happen.
LeBron James fails to earn any MVP votes for the first time in his career.
What was that you just said?
Let's hear his thoughts on the promise he made.
What was that? What was that you said? Well, can you read that again? Can you read that?
It was only fitting what we let it do. I knew what I was doing.
I mean, when you think about it, you think about how long LeBron's played, right? Like I said, records are meant to be broken, and now that you see that he's getting older, he's older in the league, he's not going to get any more votes, not unless he comes out and just balls every night. But then with the whole, he has to sit a few games and all that, like, no. Are y'all upset? Do y'all understand that? Like, are y'all really that blind that you don't see the fact that he's not getting any votes?
I mean, you're jumping out the window. You're very excited.
I mean, it is what it is. So because y'all, I think it was you that said that he's no. I think it was you that said he is still the best player in the league. Is he still the best player in the NBA?
I haven't said that.
Yeah, Jazz. Didn't Q say it?
Did I say
Leave
that?
me out of it.
No,
Leave me out of it.
if I did say, I don't think I said that.
You did. I wish we had like tape on this, but you said LeBron is still
not
the best
in
player
the
in the
last 6 to 8 months. I haven't said that.
NBA season's been
No, I haven't.
Okay,
said
so
that.
leading up to this season, you've always said that LeBron was the best player in the league.
I mean, he's one of the. I'm not gonna say he is the. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say that because I know he's getting older.
Yeah,
like
Okay.
but the career he's had, that's why this is news, and this is why you're so excited. Like you, like, and this
y'all know we put this on here just for this.
No, and this is so funny because like even with Tom Brady and LeBron James, like Steve has had to wait 20 years to celebrate these guys' decline. Like imagine
I haven't.
Imagine sitting in hate that long.
Tom Brady only.
Marinating.
No. Tom Brady only. Like LeBron, there's never been an issue where I felt like LeBron was just superior over everybody else. Like 20 years, Kobe only stopped playing in 2016. So I mean, come on. Like I never thought that LeBron was superior over anybody. But we can move on. We can move on.
Kobe didn't make it to the finals as many times as he did, so
we can move on.
You
still got 5 rings.
Serena Williams announces she's pregnant with second child. Hate it or love it.
Congrats to her.
Yeah, we love it.
Congrats to her. Heck
Love it for sure. Commanders president says team sold season's worth of suites in 1 week after Dan Snyder's sale report. Hate it or love it.
This is interesting. I love that. Like they see the value of him being able to sell this team and him no longer being an issue. But not only that, I mean, they're going to get a new stadium. They have a new look. I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah, I hope they change those hideous colors.
Facts. Rookie running back Bijan Robinson will wear number 7 with the Falcons, same as Mike Vick. Hate it or love it.
I hate it, man. This should be off limits. And I haven't heard, like, did he? So if he asked Mike Vick if it was okay, you say he didn't need to ask? You didn't need to ask?
No.
Oh, come on, man. I know the kicker was wearing it, like, but still, you've got to, like, come on, you got to pay homage, man. You got to pay homage.
This is faux outrage.
You got to pay homage. You do.
No, because
you do.
Yeah, no. If there is an issue, the issue needs to be with the organizations and Arthur Blank retiring the number. Yes.
Yeah, no, there's an issue there too.
Yeah. So, but outside of that,
there's a hierarchy. First starts with the organization, then it starts with the kicker. I mean, then it goes to the kicker. Now it's with Bijan.
No, and
But my thing was, I guess, for Bijan to be a part of the culture, you've got to pay homage. Yeah, you do.
And that's a high ceiling because I mean, he has the number 7 now. He's got to live in that shadow.
Yeah.
And
that was the same thing I asked that's the same thing I asked Isaiah Pacheco wearing number 10.
Mm-hmm.
And he killed it. He was like, nah, it don't matter to me. I'm wearing 10 because that's my number.
Yeah.
And he went out and did his thing.
And I think that, like, give the young man a chance.
Okay. All right. It is what it is. We appreciate you guys tuning in on the show. We thank you for all your messages and comments during the show. Remember, you can catch a rewind of our show on Mondays. Until next week, we are out of here.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed at the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.